Thalia, let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, got you up in the window here. Now, let's go through the requirements. I've got this like shorthand list of requirements we're going to go through here. These are directly from the instructions page for the assignment. So if you want to review those, please do so. Okay, so the object must be dominant. Yes, it is. Object must be shown with someone using it or interacting with it. You've got here, here, and here. So good job there. Um, um, must show at least two components. Now that we don't have. We don't have we need to show individual components. Okay, so right now these are images of people interacting with the bottle, right? But we need to show individual components. What would the individual components be? There's really only three. There's the bottle itself, there's the cap, and then there's the handle. I suppose theoretically you could include maybe the interior, but that's going to be a tough. Maybe show the cap and maybe a caption about how the cap tightens to ensure that the temperature control. I don't know, something like that. But you have to include components, at least two components of the item. Must include the headline, design, and everyday life. I want to talk about that in a second. A paragraph of body copy. But white background only, asymmetrical 7 by 15. Good job. The image must come in contact. That's full bleed. That's great. Design must combine images that are in boxes and part of the background. That's part of the background. Those are in boxes. Boxes meaning that they're contained. So the circles would be considered boxes, right? Encrypted view, no, put it in the box. Full color, keep your image dominant, must use a grid. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the composition itself and the typographic attributes therein. I think this is smart. This is interesting right here. Very, very interesting. I love it. Now, what I would recommend doing is since this is kind of back a little bit. I mean, it's screened back, so it's not full opacity. This is full opacity. So what I would do here is to incorporate this with your typographic title by placing that color full opacity. Okay, then you can start reducing the opacity. I don't even think we need these down here. I think it's a little bit of overkill. Okay, one tip in your title is it looks like you're kerned pretty well. And good job for you because I'll be honest with you, most students kind of forget about kerning in this assignment. Even though we spent 2 weeks of class on kerning, most students are so excited about getting into a full-blown layout that they kind of forget about kerning. So it's really, really refreshing to see that you've kerned this. I want to show you something, a little tip here. If you're going to stagger words, and I'm perfectly fine with that, this word being staggered like this, it's almost being forced over by that portion of the bottle. And I get that. But one tip is if you're going to stagger words like that, make sure they align with something. So for example, let me grab my straight edge. We can see the L in life doesn't align with anything. It doesn't align with the V, and every day it doesn't align with the E. Try to make that align with something. Like maybe the beginning of that E in every day, which means you just nudge it over a little bit, or even, excuse me, even the E in design right there, which means you just nudge it to the left a little bit. You're not going to really notice, but it's going to create an enormous amount of harmony. This is going to appear to be much, much more comfortable. Um, Right now, I think your body copy is a little bit small in spatial relationship in comparison to the headline. The reason I say that is because right now it seems like at this distance, which would be maybe arm distance, this is 7 by 15, so it's not going to be seen by any more than arm distance, right? But even at that distance, you don't want to have to move it closer to be able to read the body copy, and I think we have to do that here. I think the body copy is a little small. Typesetting is beautiful. It's you don't have any rivers. Let me see something here. You don't have any rivers here, and that's great. So I'm not real sure if you had a chance to take a look at the course announcement, how to justify paragraphs correctly. But this seems to be done pretty well. Good job here. I'm going to zoom in here and take a look at something. Okay, water bottle is that. That should be that looks like an N dash. That should be an M dash because that is a change in thought. Actually, wait a second. Let me see. My water bottle carries a full fuel that gets me through the day of life. Water. Yeah, my water bottle carries a fuel. Water. Yeah, I would M dash that right there. M as in Michael. E-M. M dash right there. Flask. Might even try a little drop cap in there, 2-line drop cap for the M. That might be really interesting. You can set that in blue. Right now, I'm a little bit concerned about the color here. It doesn't seem like the color here is directly sampled from this image. It seems like it's close, but not. I would sample that color so you get exact color. Right now, it's a little bit off. I'm not positive if you did. If you did, I'm just not quite seeing that. But you definitely want that to be an exact color that's sampled from the bottle itself. Okay, zoom back out. Okay, I'm a little questionable about the use of circles down here because the element itself doesn't have any circles in it. So using circles to me doesn't, it seems like a random choice. My recommendation is this, is you see this tapered edge right here and this little tapered edge right here. I would create little rectangles here with rounded edges to kind of mimic the shape of the bottle itself. Instead of circles, we create little rectangles and set those accordingly. It might be a good idea to place your get a little typographic variety here by changing your captions to sans serif and maybe placing those on an italic. Okay, and again, I don't think these are needed here. These little embellishments from the logo itself. But other than that, I think it's a great start. Just a few things. Just a few things. When I look at this, the word everyday is really advancing in the composition, much more so than anything else in the composition. And that's because that's set at full vibrance black. You might consider setting your black in a very, very light gray. And that is going to, you can even sample some of that light gray from right here as opposed to this black, some samples of light gray from right there and then place every day in that. It's going to prevent that word every day from advancing so much in the composition and kind of creating too much attention right there. Okay, other than that, I think it's a great start. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Thank you very much.